What's up, guys? It's Ben and
Ceiling.
Chad. Stealing Week 12. Cardinals, Seahawks. AFC West matchup. Chad, the Cardinals are 9-1 this season. 9-1.
Impressive. But schedule's a little soft.
Well, they're also missing their starting quarterback for the rest of the season. So that's,
Also true.
That's a bit of a problem. Let me give you some stats about Drew Stanton.
All right.
Drew Stanton has a 53.6% completion rate. That is the last in the league in anyone with over 100 attempts.
Yeah, that's not good. How is he still starting?
But he's got because they don't have anyone out. Like Palmer's out for the season, so
53%.
But his QBR is 9, so it's kind of an enigma. Like this team has been grinding out games, and when they have won, they've won with defense. And you know, the saying goes, Chad, defense wins championships.
Oh, you know what it is? It's probably just he's not turning the ball over, right? And his QBR goes up.
I mean, I love their defense. Patrick Patterson is probably right now. There's an argument you can say that he's the best corner in the league. So,
Revis.
They both have been put up pretty good numbers this year. I think you could pick and choose which one you want.
It's the numbers that you don't see, man. It's the numbers that you don't see.
But I mean, they've been grinding out wins. They have a pretty tough schedule, I would say, relative to other teams in the NFC. They have 2 home games left out of the rest of their games. One against KC and one against Seattle.
KC's not going to be in. Oh, they play Seattle twice now? Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they have to go to Atlanta as well. They have to go to St. Louis and to San Francisco. So
Atlanta's a joke. That whole division's a joke. But go on.
Yeah, Atlanta at home traditionally is a pretty good team.
Dude,
that division sucks.
Is under 500. Let's just
move
on.
That's a hard place to play. So, I mean, I think the one thing they do need to fix is their run game is terrible. They're last in the league in yards per carry with 3.1. So we'll see if they're going to make some moves here before the deadline to get something.
That's 50%.
Andre Ellington is not the solution. And Seattle, I don't really know.
A little bit of a rough season.
I don't know where to start with Seattle. Locker room problems, maybe Super Bowl hangover. They're 6-4. It's not like they're terrible, but they're not playing like an elite football team.
6-4, and they're also under 500 on the road.
I mean, there's the whole thing with Marshawn Lynch, and maybe there's some stuff with him in the locker room, and they trade away Harvin. It's testy. You don't really know what's going on there, and their defense has been good but not consistent.
How many home games they got left?
So
they're 4-1, so they got 3 left.
I think so. Yeah. So they play Arizona twice. So obviously this week is one.
So
they play
like maybe 3 wins.
They play 2 games against San Francisco, and then they have to go to Philadelphia. So they don't exactly. They're not exactly beating up on like AFC South teams or anything easy.
If they get 9-10 wins, they could sneak into the playoffs. But the problem is that they're gonna be a wild card team. They're not gonna have home field, so they're not gonna go very far.
And we've discussed that the NFC this year, for the most part, right now, it looks like Dallas, Seattle, and San Francisco are gonna vie for 2 of 3 wild card spots.
Yeah.
And the thing is that Dallas plays a lot of AFC South teams. So they have a fairly easier schedule. I think they're
Houston's got the better guy now.
I mean that division is terrible though, Chad. Division is pretty bad.
We'll see.
So it'll be a shocker. One of the Seattle or San Francisco is not going to make the playoffs. That's my prediction, and that'll be interesting for either of those teams.
I got San Francisco making it, so I think they're on a roll now.
But I'm confident. Once Seattle puts their team together, once they are better on offense, I think they'll be back up there with the elite teams. But as you said, the home field advantage thing in the playoffs is going to kill them.
Yeah, they're going to have to look more towards next season, unless they can somehow really start to just do great with this new QB. But I don't know. As far as Arizona, they only have 1 loss, but that 1 loss was to Denver, which is obviously an elite team. So it's maybe they're not so great against these primetime games. So
I would say Arizona gets to 12 wins this year. Maybe.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, they're 9-1. They're just gonna destroy.
Nah,
they're not gonna finish 15-1. They're gonna lose, and this is definitely one of those losable games.
Runs.
So
there you go, Chad. Seattle doesn't cover the spread, but they went 24-21 with a late comeback. Any final thoughts?
I definitely agree with Seattle winning this game at home. Definitely.
I agree too. We'll see you guys next week.